I'm CK. Today we've got another one from Threetom Modular. This is Steve's MS-22. It's a Korg MS-20 inspired filter. Let's put it together, see how complicated it is. It looks like it's got 4 printed circuit boards, which is interesting. And then put it in the rack and see how it sounds. And I hope you enjoy the video. 2 bags. This has got 4 PCBs and the front panel, and this has got the full kit parts, which doesn't seem like a lot, but we'll see. Maybe there's a bunch of surface mount already installed. This is revision 1.5. I picked this up from thonk.co.uk as I get most of my modules. Okay, let's take a look at this. Oh yeah, by the way, it's a dually, I think. Let's see, where is my pointy thing? We've got frequency, spread, resonance, gain, something unmarked, pair of sunglasses, FCV, it's frequency CV, and ACV, I'm not sure what the A is for, in and out. So I thought this might be a double, but it doesn't seem to be. But that's okay. Back doesn't have anything particular interesting on it. Let's get at the PCBs somehow. I tear stuff open. If I try to tear stuff, come on. Man, oh man. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of surface mount already installed, so this is not going to be much of a kit to put together. Tom Verschutten, Threetom Modular Synthesizer, August 2020. And a whole bunch of stuff I can't really... No, it looks like I can't really read the part numbers, which is not unusual for me. Dual VCF, oh it is a dual VCF extraordinaire with modulation bridge. Oh, this is a builder's badge, so if you built this you can hang this on your, I don't know, key ring, on your whatever. Why is the camera cockeyed? Hold on a second, let me get this pointed right. Camera's going to move a little bit. There we go. So some stuff to put on the back, bunch of test points, which they never tell you what they don't give you a list of what the test points are for. I would really like builders to put the test points uses in the documentation somewhere so we can play with it ourselves. Looks like we got some pin headers to join the boards together. This looks like 2 trimmers, 2 more trimmers. Probably because it's 2 filters. I think these two boards appear to be identical. So this one mates with this one, and this one mates with this one, and this probably does. And then this one mates with the controls and pots board. Controls and pots, as we just looked at. Sync, spread, resonance, gain, those are these. Here, these are going to be switches. And that's pretty much it for the boards. There's not going to be a lot for us to actually assemble on this one. I thought there would be a little bit more, but that's okay. Get this out. We have Steve's MS-22, VCF extraordinaire. Both filters can be linked, creating a variable width bandpass filter. Now that's reminiscent of something you may not have seen, but I had one way back. The Korg the Korg 770 had a great variable width bandpass filter that could do real good things. When pushed into self-oscillation, the fighting resonances of the filters will create complex duophonic drones. Okay. Drench in reverb for instantaneous cinematic soundscapes. Carefully engineered controls turn the filter into one big sweet spot. 4 HP only, skiff friendly. Yeah, that's nice that it's so narrow. Got some screws. Don't really care about them right now, even though we will, because we're going to be stacking those 4. And more information. We're going to be stacking those 4 PCBs is what I meant to say. Here are some knobs and a couple of jacks. Let's look at the knobs because I am always interested in the quality of the knobs that we get. These are okay. They're your basic knob. Nothing particularly wondrous about them. And that's the jack bag, but let's see what's in this bag. Gonna dump it all out. Nothing left, we'll recycle that. Power cable. 1 trimmer, another trimmer, and these are the switches in there. And we've got our pots and our pin headers and a couple of LEDs. Where did the LEDs go? Very likely on the... I was going to say very likely on this board here, but I do not see. They go on this board. That's interesting. So I wonder how you can see them. We'll have to look to see how the stack actually goes together. Because again, I'm not sure. I'm looking to see where they might be positioned. They're positioned under these smaller silvered holes, but I don't know how we'll get to them unless one of these is offset a little bit or bigger. Let me see. I think they're all the same width, but I'll take a look. That's 20 millimeters. That's 20 millimeters. So yeah, they are the same. So we'll look at the build guide and see how I'd like to do it. Let's see what color these LEDs are. We'll get our LED buddy out. And it is set for 5 volts, right? Come on. Oh, it's not telling me until I touch it. Well, they're red, 5 volt, 2.1 volt forward voltage. So low energy LEDs. So that's it. We'll get the soldering iron heated up and start putting this fella together. He's got a fine build guide on his web page, and what I was ignoring was these slots. So the LEDs will go to the other board through these slots in the top PCB. Now, I normally break the boards apart before I start building, but since you and I are both looking or could be looking at the same build guide, I'll do it the way he would prefer to do it in the build guide. So that means put all of the pin headers on. The trimmers now. There's a 5K and a 50K. Oh, where's it? And a 50K. We don't want to get the 50K in the wrong place. It's HP high pass and low pass offset. So there's 2 of them. Oh, we already snapped off the Oh, he didn't. Okay, I'm sorry. I was confused. So on the circuit board, he's got the value of these trimmers listed. So put the 50K right here, and as you can see, the screw is sticking out the side, so we can get to it when we want to adjust our offsets. And the 5K, let's double check that. It is a, can't read, why can I not read this? Oh, there are two 50Ks. Okay, they're on both. Oh, because it's, again, these are identical. That's what we mean by it being a dual VCF, because it's got two VCFs stacked on top of each other. Where did I put the other bag? You saw me with it. This will be high pass and low pass gain on these trimmers. 5K, so and they are a little different. These are not identical because these are for high pass trimming, these are for low pass, so this is the low pass side and this is the high pass side. Let me snip off these leads. No, it did end up being aligned correctly. Now this is where you want to be a little bit careful, even though this is not as bad as some boards I've seen. What just fell down here? What just fell down, guys? Huh, something fell down. Just be careful because there are surface mount components on this board. They're very far away from where you'll be soldering, which is good, but still just be aware. And now we're going to do something interesting here. We're going to solder the screws on. So we're going to go into our screw bag. It's just he's got the two panel, the standard rack mount M3 screws in there also. So we want to find the M2s, the smaller screws, and then you're fine. And we want them to be perpendicular. Of course, I'm just going to set it up on that thing. Move that into camera frame a little better. And as he says, you're going to have to heat these up a little bit because screws end up being big old heat sinks. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take my high temp locking tweezers and grip it real tightly like so. That will keep it held down in place, and then I can solder, and because they're high temp ceramic tweezers I don't have to worry about any metal deforming or anything like that. And I don't have a huge iron tip here, but what I do have is because it's at an angle, it's a 30-degree angle, I can kind of wrap the screw head around it. Okay, well, it hadn't cooled off enough yet. It's the other thing you got to be careful of. You got to wait for it to cool completely. It's in there tightly. Got a little rogue piece of solder that I flicked off with my thumbnail. Now we'll get the other screw, which I did just have. Didn't I just have it? I know I just had it. They're both secure and they're both perpendicular. I got a little solder in the slot on that one, but it doesn't matter because I'm not going to be putting a screwdriver in it. And now we're going to break the boards apart. And he says be careful because you can get circuit board dust in the air. And I'm going to leave these two on together for right now, just for the moment, because we're doing something that's a little bit different than we normally do. We normally would put the pots and jacks on last, but because of the way he's doing things like these LEDs, yeah, stabbed myself with the pin header. They did with the LED, doing the LEDs, we want to make sure that we stack it first. Now we got one A50K, and the A50K goes in the, let's see, am I in the right? I'm making sure I'm in the right orientation. So it's the 50 B, 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 and this would be the A taper. This is all about whether the potentiometers are wound with a linear taper or a audio taper, which is kind of logarithmic, but you can look it up and get a better explanation than I would give you. It doesn't ultimately, if you get that wrong, it's not the end of the world. It's not going to break anything. It will just, the response will be different than one would expect and hope for. Now we'll place the jacks on the board, and he shares his, golly, I'm sorry, I'll finish that sentence in just a minute because I got to get these jacks out and take the pedal nuts off them. I just realized my lapel mic was off, so you'll be hearing the top camera audio for the first section of that. Now he shares ground pins on these, so you're going to have to stuff 2 ground pins into one circuit board hole. Oops. I'm going to set this down just for a minute because I got to open the switch bag up. He wants us to put the paddle nuts on before we solder. I'm not going to do that, just because I don't do that. It's almost as if it commits me too early in the process. So I'm just going to go ahead and solder all these components. And that's the component soldered. Now you may notice here that these, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here. These potentiometer leads are very close to these capacitors and resistors. So again, be very careful not to touch your iron to an already installed surface mount part, or you could break it free, and you might not even notice that you did it. Okay, I'll back the camera back off again a little bit. And put some of the panel nuts on. Actually, I'll put all the panel nuts on, and that's kind of boring, so I'm going to cut the cameras while I do that, and we'll be back when we start doing the rest of the stack. Now it's time to put all the nuts on the panel. Again, he did this earlier than I did. It's just a different style of assembly. Do whichever way you want to. Again, it's all about how you're going to solder things on to make sure everything is aligned. And now we'll put the standoffs on. Where the heck did they go? Okay, they're all the same size. Okay, in more recent versions of this kit, I've included taller standoffs, and the nut is no longer required to put a nut here to space it out. If the standoffs are 6 millimeter high, you need a nut. If the body of the standoffs are 7 millimeter high, you don't need a nut. I don't think these are 7. Yeah, these are 6. So we will need a nut. Just to space it out properly. Whoop, got to put the other standoff on. And these don't have to be tight, just snug. Now we'll take board B. This is board B. I'm going to make the assumption. Yeah, it is, even though I don't see... Oh, there it is. Okay, never mind. I figured it out. And then we've got a connector that we've got to make sure we're getting straight on here. Like so. Actually, see, I'm gonna take the nut off there, because if you look in here, there's a 2 millimeter, 3 millimeter gap in that connector, and I just don't like that. So we're gonna take these nuts off. Much better. Goes together all the way flat. Now we'll put nuts on there, which again we probably don't need. I don't know if I want to. I'm gonna not put the nuts on there right now. Now he wants us to do the, it would have been nice if we had put the LEDs on the board before we slotted them together. I don't know why we're doing it afterwards. Putting the long lead, the cathode, in the square hole. Square solder pad hole, that is. Come on. Come on, you can do it, little buddy. See, again, we're putting them down here through the slots in the first board. Now we have to see where the heck our last LED got to. Come on. Now we'll put more standoffs. Again, I'm not sure I'm going to put the nuts on there. Let me take a look. And this is the next board to go on, the one with the, whatchamacallit. No, I can put the nuts on this one. Okay, so I will. And that's good. Now we'll put the knobs on. Oops. Oh, those are caps. All these knobs have little indicator caps. And I believe that the red stripe goes here. Let's see, the calibration, I'm going to go, so, that's the front, switches, knobs, that's the side, it's the back, the other side, top, and the bottom. So that's it. Again, a relatively simple build. Now we're going to go do calibration. Okay, we're in the rack and it's on, and I calibrated it both with a spectrum analyzer and actually tweaking it by ear. The high HP filter I've got dead on. The LP, I don't know whether it's quite perfect, but we'll play around with it anyway. And I did it off screen because it took, off camera, because it took about 20 minutes of tweaking around and setting everything up and all that. So you wouldn't learn anything from what I was doing. Check the instruction manual. It'll give you a much better idea. And I think he may even have a video of it. But here's the default setting. Low pass filter all the way open, high pass offset all the way shut, resonance all the way shut, gain offset about 2 o'clock. And it sounds like this. Now if I bypass the filter and just go directly to the output, that's what it sounds like. So, oops, what did I just do? Yeah. So that sounds pretty much close to that. Now, low pass gate is the next setting. Actually, I'm not going to go through all these settings. I'm just going to play with the thing. Sound good? Sound good. Start opening up the HP offset. Linking them now. Take resonance up. I went down an octave on the VCO. I'm going to go up an octave on the VCO again. Another octave up. Okay, I'm going to put some triangle wave LFO into frequency. You can see the LED. Now I've got the high pressure picking up too, high pass. Now we're still on just the low. I'm going to take resonance out for a little bit. You can see, you can hear it opening and closing. I'm going to turn this up a little bit more. Now we're going to take another cable from somewhere. We're going to go, that's not going to make it. Going to ACV. Now I'm going to disconnect those and turn resonance on. Turn that up. Just pattern resonance in there now. Speed that up. Go real fast. Okay, I'm going to turn those off and get back to regular filtering. I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to take out the VCA and just go directly from the output with no interval. So as you can hear, there's a lot of sonic possibilities with this. It will take me a while to figure them all out, and I think I have to still tweak the high frequency offset a little bit, but it's close enough for the demo work. So we've seen it's a pretty straightforward kit because it's so much surface mount pre-installed. Little complicated mechanically because it's a 4 circuit board stack. And one other thing you might be noticing here is we're pulling 87 milliamps with a peak of 104, and that's 87 on the plus 12 and 88 on the minus 12, with a peak of 104 on the minus 12 and a peak on 104 on the plus 12, well, 103, 104. That's using a good bit of power. So you may want to think about that if you're on a tight power budget on your skiff already. But a good little unit, I think you'll enjoy playing with it, making interesting sounds. Again, the calibration is key, and I'm not certain I got the HP offset correct, but I'll tweak it a little more. But you get an idea of how it works. And I hope you enjoy the video.